My name is Moya McFadyen. I'm the Senior Curator of Migration and Cultural Diversity at Museums Victoria. We have a collection of over 10,000 items relating to migration history at the museum, and I would love to share with you a particular group of items that relate to a woman by the name of Esma Banner. Esma was one of only 39 Australians who went to Europe to assist with the displaced persons camps that had been set up to try to manage and help repatriate the millions of people who had been displaced by the war across Europe. Firstly, Esma's collection contains a number of letters and diaries, and letters are particularly evocative and personal objects. They really help us to connect with the real person. And these letters are also really important historical documents. She wrote home to her family a lot of detail about what her job was like, what life was like in the displaced persons camps, what those people were like and what they were going through. Another really special object in the collection is this beautiful little photo album. As you can see, it has a woven cover which was created by one of the displaced people that Esma may have met in a camp, and inside it's full of tiny little photographs that Esma has taken during her time in Europe. All of the photos are annotated, so she's a dream for researchers, Esma, so we know exactly where these photos were taken and when and who is depicted. We also have Esma's passport, which she was using at the time that she was working in Europe. Passports are really informative and evocative documents. They're terrific because they obviously name the person. They also include a photograph of the person at the time that they were using the passport. So we have this photograph here of Esma. And also interestingly, we have a lot of visas and stamps which enabled Esma to be able to move across borders and the international zones at the time. The other interesting point about this passport, while an Australian passport, it's still called a British passport, and Australian passports were called that until 1967. A really important part of this collection is the number of craft objects that it holds. These objects have been made by displaced people in the camps and were acquired by Esma and sent home to family as gifts. War, conflict and displacement are always a threat to people's cultural identity and cultural traditions. So these items represent that really important act of people trying to preserve and maintain their culture. Esma Banner's collection demonstrates how we can use a range of historical objects to be able to examine history. So this wonderfully diverse collection of material allows us to explore the life of an individual, but it also gives us a window into a broader historical context at that time. Around 170,000 displaced people came to Australia immediately after World War II. So this collection retains an ongoing cultural relevance to these large and now ageing migrant communities across Victoria and Australia. Wars have massive impacts on people, and that doesn't change. For example, now, the UNHCR estimates the number of people forcibly displaced and forced to leave their homes to be around 90 million people. So refugees, asylum seekers, displacement are not new concepts or experiences, and collections like Esma's help us to make those connections and see the recurring patterns caused by such things as conflicts and persecution, and newer causes now like climate change. So objects from the past will always have relevance to the present and hopefully lessons for the future.